Okay, Jack.
All right. This is A Mad Heart, number 15. And it's an Arbery. Yeah, it's an Arbery. It takes about maybe 10 minutes. It's composed of five verses of rhyming couplets, I guess. A Mad Heart. Long years my heart had made request of me, a stranger, hopefully, not knowing that itself possessed the treasure that it sought of me. That Jamshid's chalice I should win, and it would see the world therein. That is a pearl by far too rare to be contained within the shell of time and space, lost vagrants there. Upon the ocean's margin, well, we know it is a vain surmise that we should hold so great a prize. There was a man that loved God well in every motion of his mind. God dwelt, and yet he could not tell that God was in him, being blind. Wherefore, as if afar he stood and cried, "Have mercy, O my God." This problem that had vexed me long, last night unto the taverner I carried, for my hope was strong. His judgment sure, that could not err, might swiftly solve infallibly the riddle that had baffled me. I saw him standing in his place, a goblet in his grasp, a smile of right good cheer upon his face. As in the glass he gazed awhile, and seemed to view in vision clear 100 truths reflected there. That friend who, being raised sublime upon the gallows, glorified the tree that slew him for his crime. This was the sin for which he died, that having secrets in his charge, he told them to the world at large. So spake he, adding, but the heart that has the truth within its hold, in practicing the rosebud's art, conceals a mystery in each fold. That heart hath well this comment lined upon the margin of the mind. When Moses unto Pharaoh stood, the men of magic strove in vain against his miracle of wood. So every subtlety of brain must surely fail and feeble be before the soul's supremacy. And if the Holy Ghost descend in grace and power infinite, is comfort in these days to lend to them that humbly wait on it. Theirs too the wondrous works can be that Jesus wrought in Galilee. What season did the Spirit wise this all-revealing cup assign within thy keeping? When the skies were painted by the hand divine, and heaven's mighty void was spanned, then gave he this into my hand. Yon twisted coil, your chain of hair, why doth the lovely idol spread to keep me fast and fettered there? Ah, Hafez, so the wise man said, 'tis a mad heart and needs restraint that speaks within thee this complaint. That one. That's called, what is it called? The Mad Heart, yeah.
Jack, since we're recording this now, will you repeat the book and author that you're reading?
Okay. It's called Hafez. They spell it with an I. I pronounce it with an E. I think Hafez is really the proper way, but who knows? 50 poems, text and translations, collected, introduced, and annotated by A.J. Arbery, Cambridge University Press, 1947. Copyright.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
People
sure.
may want to track that down.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
If I didn't have
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I'm happy to know about it. Noreen has her hand up.
Okay, am I unmuted still? Okay.
Yes.
This is from A Year with Hafez by with Daniel Ladinsky. He's talking about how Hafez came to be a Sufi. It is said that when he was 21 and working as a baker's assistant, Hafez delivered some bread to a mansion and happened to catch a fleeting glimpse of a beautiful girl on the terrace. That one glimpse captured his heart, and he fell madly in love with her, though she did not even notice him. She was from a wealthy, noble family, and he was a poor baker's assistant. She was beautiful. He was short and physically unattractive. The situation was hopeless. As months went by, Hafez made up poems and love songs, celebrating her beauty and his longing for her. People heard him singing his poems and began to repeat them. The poems were so touching that they became popular all over Shiraz. Hafez was oblivious of his new fame as a poet. He thought only of his beloved. Desperate to win her, he undertook an arduous spiritual discipline that required him to keep a vigil at the tomb of a certain saint all night long for 40 nights. It was said that anyone who could accomplish this near impossible austerity would be granted his heart's desire. Every day Hafez went to work at the bakery. Every night he went to the saint's tomb and willed himself to stay awake for love of this girl. His love was so strong that he succeeded in completing his vigil. At daybreak on the 40th day, the archangel Gabriel appeared before Hafez and told him to ask for whatever he wished. Hafez had never seen such a glorious, radiant being as Gabriel. He found himself thinking, if God's messenger is so beautiful, how much more beautiful must God be? Gazing on the unimaginable splendor of God's angel, Hafez forgot all about the girl, his wish, everything. He said, I want God. Gabriel then directed Hafez to a spiritual teacher who lived in Shiraz. The angel told Hafez to serve this teacher in every way and his wish would be fulfilled. Hafez hurried to meet his teacher and they began their work together that very day.
Okay.
That's it.
And I read that earlier today, but tell me where you got it.
A Year with Hafez, Daniel Ladinsky.
Okay. Yeah, you told me that. You said so. Okay. Wonderful. I'm going to read from Carl Ernst. And as you know, Carl is a Bible lover and he is a professor and he is chairman of the religion department at University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And what I'm reading comes from the Shambhala Guide to Sufism, but I'm getting it from the Illuminated Hafez. Come, let's scatter roses and pour wine in the glass. We'll shatter heaven's roof and lay a new foundation. If sorrow raises armies to shed the blood of lovers, I'll join with the wine bearer so we can overthrow them. With a sweet string at hand, play a sweet song, my friend, so we can clap and sing a song and lose our hands in the dancing. Avatar, Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Wonderful.
Jack, let me look and see. I don't see any more hands. So Jack, you're up.
The House of Hope. The House of Hope is built on sand, and life's foundations rest on air. Then come, give wine into my hand, that we may make an end of care. Let me be slave to that man's will, who 'neath high heaven's turquoise bowl hath won and winneth freedom still from all entanglement of soul. Save that the mind entangled be, with her whose radiant loveliness, provoking love and loyalty, relieves the mind of all distress. Last night, as toping I had been in tavern, shall I tell to thee what message from the world unseen a heavenly angel brought to me? Falcon of sovereign renown, high nesting bird of lofty gaze, this corner of affliction town befits thee ill to pass thy days. Hearest thou not the whistle's call? From heaven's rampart shrills for thee. What chanced I cannot guess at all. This snare should now thy poison, thy prison be. Heed now the counsel that I give, and be it to thy acts applied. For these are words I did receive from him that was my ancient guide. Be pleased with what the fates bestow, nor let thy brow be furrowed thus. The gate to freedom here below stands not ajar to such as us. Look not to find fidelity within a world so weakly stayed. This ancient crone, ere flouting thee, 1,000 bridegrooms had betrayed. Take not for sign of true intent, nor think the roses smile sincere. Sweet loving nightingale, lament. There is much cause for weeping here. What envying of Hafez's ease, poor poet taster, dost thou moan? To make sweet music and to please. That is a gift of God alone. Yeah, that 1,000 bridegrooms has betrayed it. It reminds me of Jamie Newell's song of one of Hafez's other poems.
This sounds so much like it. The falcon and doesn't
Yeah.
it sound like that poem?
Yeah.
I was actually trying to find it in my Hafez, but I couldn't find it. Because the Jamie Newell poem is in this book, but I can't find it. Do you know where it is, Gayle?
I do. Hold on.
It's got an exquisite picture, I know that.
I had it marked, but I've got so many.
Yeah,
Oh, wait a minute.
I know.
Found it.
You did what page?
It's page 28.
Mm-hmm.
And yes.
Yeah, that I thought that was the same one.
Well, you know,
And it's only a bit of it. It's not the whole thing that Jack read. It's like a piece of that, right?
that would make sense.
Yeah. But that
And
song is so beautiful.
there's also a Baba
Yeah.
translation on that page, and I'll read it. This knowledge is never grasped by the intellect's noose until the noose and you untie the noose and you will obtain it. So let me do it again since it's so short, and I'll do it right this time, I hope. This knowledge is never grasped by the intellect's noose. Untie the noose and you will obtain it. And that
there's Baba in this book.
And that's from Lord Mayhere, but I don't know where. But obviously, you can type anything in Lord Mayhere and it'll come up. But it doesn't get that specific. I'm going to read one more by Baba because it's on the opposite page. We're reading from the Illuminated Hafez, and it's on page 29. God is like the bird of paradise. Do not try to snare him by spreading the net of your thoughts. In that net, you will find nothing but mind. I'm going to read it again. It's
Yep.
short and packed. God, yes,
Oh,
God is like the bird of paradise. Do not try to snare him by spreading the net of your thoughts. In that net, you will find nothing but mind. And that is, again, from Lord Mayher.
Very nice.
Let me check and see if there are any other hands. We're welcoming anybody to raise their hand or speak out if you'd like to join us, but I'm going to go back, I believe, to Jack. Is that where we are?
I think it's
yeah.
my turn.
Is it your turn?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
her.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yes. So this translation is by Paul Smith. And it's from the book Hafez, Tongue of the Hidden, Poems from the Divan. But I'm getting it from Love Street Lamppost. That's my source. Last night before dawn, freedom from all suffering they gave me. In the darkness of night, water of life everlasting they gave me. They overpowered me with the brilliance of the divine essence. A drink from the goblet of divine light overflowing they gave me. What a fortunate dawn and joyful night was the night of power when the supreme authority of God's commanding they gave me. When I swooned with awe and wonder from love for God's face, the two goddesses Lat and Manat's true meaning they gave me. If my longing is fulfilled and my heart is in bliss, what wonder? All of this as rightful gifts because I was deserving they gave me. Now together are my face and the mirror of the glory of beauty, beloved's glory reflecting my true self showing they gave me. All this honey and sugar that pouring from my pen is the reward for patience, and a branch of sugar cane for writing they gave me. Angel Gabriel, the invisible messenger, gave me the happiest news. When tyranny and violence come, patience enduring they gave me. It's such a wonderful miracle to be the slave of the perfect master. I became his dust and the rank of the highest rating they gave me. The master raised me that day to reach to life eternal without end, when the writing of freedom from death everlasting they gave me. Hafez said, the moment I fell into the snare of the tip of your hair, release from the chain of anguish and of suffering they gave me. Because of blessings I received and wishes of dawn companions, freedom from fate's sickness and time's grieving they gave me. Hafez, rejoice, rejoice, then thankfully scatter the sugar of thanks, realization of the divine beloved, sweetly swaying they gave me. Say about that.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, go ahead, Jack, and I'll follow you.
Back in between 80, 84 and 87, well, prior to that, I had first fell in love with Khalil Gibran through reading The Prophet and getting all his other little books. And then when I was working on the Must film with Marvin Johnson and Irwin, Marge gave me a book called The Essentials of Hafez. It's another book, which is somewhere in the house here. I don't know where it is right now. And that, and I lived down there with Irwin and Marvin. Marvin lived in his trailer. I lived in my hippie van, an old 1967 Ford Econoline that was completely redone inside by a guy named Daniel Day. And I used to read Hafez out loud at night to myself, just to hear and feel it. And if anything, that was the spur to my really getting involved in writing ghazals. So anyway, this one is called The Red Rose. and it is a Gertrude Bell translation. The rose has flushed red, and the bud has burst, and drunk with joy is the nightingale. Hail, Sufis, lovers of wine, all hail, for wine is proclaimed to a world athirst. Like a rock, your repentance seemed to you. Behold the marvel of what avail was your rock, for a goblet has cleft it in two. Bring wine for the king and the slave at the gate. Alike for all is the banquet spread, and drunk and sober are warmed and fed. And when the feast is done and the night grows late, and the second door of the tavern gapes wide, the low and the mighty must bow the head neath the archway of life to meet what? Outside? Except I rode through affliction pass, none may reach the halting station of mirth. God's treaty. Am I not Lord of the earth? Man sealed with a sigh, ah, yes, alas. Nor with is, nor is not, let thy mind contend, and rest assured, all perfection of mortal birth in the great is not, at the last shall end. For a soft's pomp and the steeds of the wind, and the speech of birds down the wind have fled, and he that was Lord of them all is dead, and of his mastery nothing remains behind. Shoot not thy feathered arrow astray, a bow shot's length through the air it has sped, and then dropped down in a dusty way. But to thee, O Hafez, to thee, O tongue, that speaks through the mouth of the slender reed, what thanks to thee when thy verses speed from lip to lip, and the song thou hast sung. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Yeah.
Go next, Noreen, and then I'll follow you.
All right. This is from the Illuminated Hafez. I didn't look up whose translation it is, but I can tell you in a minute. Beloved, you have destroyed my heart with an arrow I can't endure or dare to remove. I am this field you've plowed in long, even rows, sown with the north wind, fragrance of apple blossoms, bird songs, and children laughing. I am more like earth now than ever before, seeds growing in gratitude. Your sun and moon glance has tempted me out of my robe again into a union beyond all grief images. Falling into your clear light has planted majesty in my shoes. Now Hafez kicks up stardust wherever he goes. Jai Baba. I'll look up who that is. What page is that? 44. That is Campbell. And who is Campbell? Tim Campbell, Night Light.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I am still reading from the Illuminated Hafez, and I'm going to read two short ones, both from Mayor Baba, both from Lord Mayhair. I will pluck flowers from the garden of paradise and become one with my beloved. I have been your lover for eons. Now the time has come to give me a message of hope. And that's on page 16. Sorry, I didn't tell you that earlier, Noreen. And this one is on page 89, same book. Again from Lord Mayhair. Both the happinesses and sorrows of the world will pass away. So it is better to remain peaceful throughout. And just there's a little one across the page from Coleman Barks. It's from the Zikr Circle, Z-I-K-R Circle. If everyone in the world advised against my loving you, still I would. One lives in the Zikr Circle so that the round knot of the beloved's hair will be undone.
I like the
Okay.
pronunciation of Zikr right there. It says the breath of gratitude.
How is that spelled, Zikr?
Z-I-K-R.
And it means the breath of gratitude.
Oh, great.
And it's on page 88. Okay, Jack, you are up.
The shades of Bob Dylan. The times are out of joint. Again, the times are out of joint. And again for wine and the loved one's languid glace, I am fain. The wheel of fortune's sphere is a marvelous thing. What next proud head to the lowly dust will it bring? Or if my Magian elder kindle the light, whose lantern, pray, will blaze a flame and be bright? 'Tis a famous tale, the deceitfulness of earth. The night is pregnant. What will dawn bring to birth? Tumult and bloody battle rage in the plain. Bring blood red wine and fill the goblet again. That's that one. And this is called Wine Worship. Saki, the dawn is breaking. Fill up the glass with wine. Heaven's wheel no delay is making. Haste, haste, while the day is thine. Ere to our final ruin, space and the world speed by. Let wine be our great undoing. Red wine, let us drink and die. See, on the bold's horizon, wine, the red sun doth rise. Here's glory to feast the eyes on. Drive sleep from thy languid eyes. When fate on his wheel is molding jars from this clay of mine, let this be the cup thou art holding, and fill up my head with wine. Never was I a shrinker, no hypocrite monk am I. Let wine, the pure wine of the drinker, be the talk men address me by. Wine is the soul's salvation, its worship and works sublime. Be firm thy determination, Hafez, be saved in time.
Wonderful, Jack.
We were
Two
singing
good
along.
ones.
That's a Jim Meyer song.
Oh well, we're all kind of tuned in.
Yeah, that's a great one. And he barely changed any words. It was almost word for word the song that he does.
Huh.
It's nice to hear it both ways, sung and and spoken. Because Marvin reads, Marvin, I don't know, Michelle's husband.
Right.
He reads things and you think you just see it in a new light. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, Noreen.
Okay, this is again from the Illuminated Hafez, page 107. No need for a candle in this gathering. In our soiree, the beautiful face of my darling is a full moon. No need for perfume in our banquet. The only fragrance I need is the musk of your tresses. No need for sugar here. Sweetness of your lips suffices. In our religion, wine is permitted, but tonight it'd be forbidden without your beautiful face. My ears tied to the sound of the flute and the strumming of the harp. My eyes caught up in your ruby lips and the sharing of this goblet. Don't talk with me of shame. I've become infamous from this shame. Why do you speak with me of my name? I'm ashamed of whatever name I used to have. We are drunk, head-whirling, rogue love glance playing. Who in this whole town isn't like us, like this? Hafez, don't sit for a moment without wine and a beloved for the ages. These are the days for roses and jasmines, holy days.
Wow. That was on 108 Safi, is that right?
107, yeah, I don't know who translated.
107, yeah.
Mhm.
It looks like at the end it says Safi, and Safi is
Oh, yes. Oh, Safi, yeah, I don't know who Safi is.
Omid Safi is
Mhm.
radical love teachings from the Islamic mystical tradition, translated and edited by Omid Safi, New Haven Press, 2018. And I kind of think maybe Omid Safi had something to do. Yes, at the very beginning, I think must have been the person who put this book together, because it's Omid Safi, PhD, Durham, North Carolina, 2019. It's pages 8 and 9 in Roman numerals at the very beginning. The title of it is the Hafez, the Illuminated Jewel. So that's who that is. I'm thinking it's a guy, but I don't know. I'm right next to Durham, but I'll see if I can track him down sometime. Okay, I've got two more from Meher Baba, both from Lord Meher, and they're short. As you know, he'll just drop little nuggets into Lord Meher. This one is, wash your hands of this coppery existence, so that one day you will get the alchemy of love and become gold.
Do that one again, please.
Wash your hands of this coppery existence, so that one day you will get the alchemy of love and become gold. And here's, yes,
I like copper too, quite a bit. I love gold, but I love copper too. Yeah.
but you don't hear coppery that
No,
often. You know, we hear
no,
gold
I
a
don't.
lot.
I don't think I've ever heard it. I've never heard it. Yeah, so it really.
Yeah, so Baba really gets our attention. Here's another one.
So who wrote that?
That was
Baba.
Meher Baba. That was
Oh,
Meher Baba.
wow. Leave it to Baba. Wow.
From Lord Meher. This is also from Meher Baba, from Lord Meher, another short one. The lover says to the master, you have taught me something that has made me forget everything. You have created in me a desire that says, do not desire anything. You have given me that one word which says, words mean nothing. Oh, Master, I was seeking God and thought him this and that. Now you have given me something of which even my imagination cannot produce its shadow. Page 71.
Gayle, I'd like to write down that short one, that coppery one.
All right.
It's so unique.
Okay.
That
Wash your hands of this coppery existence, so that one day you will get the alchemy of love and become gold. Did you get it, or would you like me to go again?
Well, let's see, wash your hands of this coppery existence so that one day you will get the alchemy
Of love and become gold. The alchemy of love and become gold.
Oh, yeah, I have to say, can you imagine the alchemy of love and become copper?
Wow, it's
I
beautiful,
rest
isn't
my
it?
case. It is, yeah. Where is that from?
Again, Lord Mayhair, but I found it in the illuminated Hafez, but it's from Lord Mayhair. And if you
Wow.
Google that, you'll find where it is in Lord Mayhair. I mean, you know,
Okay. Okay.
because it's searchable. Lord Mayhair is searchable. I wanted to shout out to Diana Goodhart and give her a hand here because she's doing the tech. And I'm so grateful, and thanks for making this possible, Diana.
Hey, Diana.
It's so funny because was it the other day someone just thought that I was such a wizard, and really, you know, sometimes when someone knows just one little thing more than you do, it's just so awesome and impressive.
Well, thank you so much. It
You're
makes it
welcome.
possible for
It's
us
just one
from
little
all
thing.
over to enjoy it.
It's just one little thing, but I'm happy to be here. This is just a lovely evening.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks. Jack?
I have to share this cartoon because it's about this tech thing. It's two cats and they're looking at a can that's not been opened. It says, I guess I'll have to get my tech.
Yeah. Yeah. Baba always liked to laugh. So I'm glad, Rosalie, you brought it for us.
Yeah, no, I absolutely, this Advent, when I was handed the Don't Worry, Be Happy card, I mean, that is one, it's funny. I mean, it has such humor. And I have this experience of I gave it to Milton Berle. And I ran into him at a fundraiser, public television. And I went up to him and I says, you see this card? The Don't Worry, Be Happy card. I says, it helped me to laugh when it was really hard for me to laugh. And he took it and he looked at it, like really looked, and he says, yeah, he says, it is funny. He says, do you want me to keep it? I says, if you want to. And he stuck it in his pocket. And I never liked his put down comedy. It's put down, you know, but he had comedy, he had a comic walk. He was funny walking, you know. And about 7 to 10 years later, I'm the caretaker at the Baba Center, a little center in Los Angeles, and he was giving a free workshop. And I thought, well, that's the right price for me. So I went, and I was sitting right by the stage. He was doing his, what they call shtick, and he said, he saw me and he says, we've met before. He says this from the stage. I says, yes, we have met before. And he did his put down. He says, you were wearing the same dress 40 years ago, which can be very true because I don't outgrow my clothes, you know, and I'm not into style. So anyway, I waited when the whole event was over, people getting his autograph. I wanted to know if he remembered that card. And so I put my hand on his and he didn't take it off, and people kept coming for the autographs. And then they were gone and I held the car up. I says, yes, we have met before. And he went, I mean, this man has seen everything. You know, he's been in burlesque. He's the father of television. And he lost it. And he goes, who is it? Who is it? Like, I never said Baba's name. I just gave him that card. Who is it? I said, that's Meher Baba. And he took it and put it in his pocket. And I could not get him to take it out and hold it while I was getting our picture taken. But I have the picture. I kind of look like I was related to him, you know. But I mean, it was just Baba showing me, you know, he just doesn't work, because he was on the other side about a couple years later. He left 67. He left at the same time as Mother Teresa and Diana, Princess Diana, around the same time. It was quite a, but anyway, it really, speak of the word. He never heard the word, but the picture is, there's a quote that says, constant remembrance of the word that is his name, and the form in which he manifests consumes the mind. I love that one.
Excuse me,
Consume.
Gail. Excuse me, Gail. Do you have some more poetry to read?
Why don't we go one last round so that we can finish up at 8? So thanks for sharing, Rosalie and Jack. We'll just do, all three of us will do one last round.
Okay. Saki's, this is called Saki's song. Come, Saki, come, your wine ecstatic bring, augmenting grace, the soul's perfectioning. Fill up my glass, for I am desperate, and lo, bankrupt of both parts is my estate. Bring, Saki, bring your wine, and Jamshed's bowl shall therewith bear to view the vast void whole. Pour on, that with this bowl to fortify, I may, like Jamshed, every secret spy. Bring, Saki, bring your alchemy divine, where Korah's wealth and Noah's years combine. Pour on, and there shall open forth to thee the gates of fame and immortality. Bring wine, O Saki, and its images there, to Jamshed and Chosroes shall greeting bear. Pour on, and to the pipe's note I shall say, how Jamshed fared, and Kaus in their day. Sing of this old world's ways, and with your strings, make proclamation to those ancient kings. Still spreads the same for desert to be crossed, where Psalm and Tur their mighty armies lost. Still stands the selfsame crumbling hostelry. Afrasiab took his palace for to be, where now the captains that his armies led, and where the sword-swift champion at their head, high was his palace, ruin its doom, lost now to memory his very tomb. Bring, Saki, bring your virgin chastely veiled, your tavern dweller drunkenly regaled. Fill up, for I am avid of ill fame, and seek in wine and bowl my utmost shame. Bring, Saki, bring such brain-inflaming juice, as lions drink and let wide havoc loose. Pour on, and lion lake like I'll break the snare of this old world and rise to rule the air. Bring wine, O Saki, that the houris spice with angel fragrance out of paradise. Pour on, and putting incense to the fire, the mind's eternal pleasure I'll acquire. Bring, Saki, bring your throne bestowing wine. My heart bears witness it is pure and fine. And pour on that, shriven in the tide of it, I may arise triumphant from the pit. Why must I yet the body's captive be when spiritual gardens call to me? Give me to drink, till I am full of wine. Then mark what wisdom and what power are mine. And into my keeping let your goblet pass, and I will view the world within that glass. Intoxicate, of saintliness I'll sing, and in my beggar's rags I'll play the king. When Hafez lifts his voice in drunken cheer, and Venus applauds his anthem from her sphere. Thank you. Well, that hour went by like lightning.
Absolutely. When we're getting such wine from the cup. Noreen.
Yeah, I couldn't decide between two, and they're both short, so I'm going to read both if that's okay. The first one is from A Year with Hafez. It's called Brings Life to a Field. It is not possible to complete yourself without sorrow. Sorrow is a vital ingredient that shapes the heart and enriches it. So endure sadness the best you can when its season comes. That rain that can fall from your eye brings life to a field. And on other days when you laugh, a sun takes birth in a sky you will someday know. See how all the elements are inside of you. See how your soul is a sire of light. And this one is from the Illuminated Hafez. Don't allow your inward being to be hurt by what you have or have not. Be glad because every perfect thing is on its way to non-existence.
Yeah.
What a nice evening.
Yes, thank you so much, all you guys.
This was wonderful. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Gayle. Gayle,
I
you're
have,
good.
I have a question. Is the illuminated, I have the illuminated Rumi, is the illuminated Hafiz illustrated by Michael Green also, or?
I believe so. Let me check.
Okay.
Yep, Michael and Saliha Green.
Ah, okay.
Okay, I'm going to finish up with Peter Booth.
Nice.
It's a short one, and it's on page 20. And it is from his Dante Hafez, readings on the gaze, the sigh, and beauty, by Franco Maciandaro and Peter Booth. I will ride on Hafez's ship, for on this ocean, it alone has as cargo the words that produce pearls.
Please repeat.
One more time. I will ride on Hafez's ship, for on this ocean, it alone has as cargo the words that produce pearls.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
What about that one where Baba has contributed to it, it's in that book, isn't it?
This is the one Baba contributed to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, can we hear that one?
That what is from?
Oh, there are a lot of Baba.
Oh, okay.
There are probably 20 of Baba's. Most of them are short that came out of Lord Mayhair, but I can, and they have this at Sheriar.
Area, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. Okay. There is a longer one that they pulled from the, it's called The Lover and the Beloved, from the Everything and the Nothing. So the whole thing is quoted by Meher Baba.
Wow.
So you can see some evidence of Peter and Carl Ernst and Jamie Newell. So Mayor Baba is emerging out in every different way. Well, thanks everybody. There have been 9 of us on, and everyone has contributed by listening. Again, Diana has been our tech person. I'll say good evening and see you a month from now, the 4th Tuesday. I don't know if I don't know what it is. I may have it planned, but I'll put it out there for the poet spotlight.
How about a Jack spotlight?
A Jack spotlight? I'd love a Jack spotlight. You want to do a Jack spotlight, Jack?
Ask me next time.
Don't invite Jack.
We'll talk about it. You can pick a time if you want to. No pressure. Okay. Bye, all.
Bye.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you, Diana.
Okay.